I was just waiting for you all to show up. So just come to a nice, we're going to start as we mean to go on with it being hard work. So just come into a nice standing position in Tadasana or with your feet together, your choice if you want your toes to meet. Personally, I think it challenges your balance more if you've got your feet together. So this might be a chance for you to test out how your balance is this morning. So just come into standing. I'm going to get rid of my dog. Out you go. There's a good boy. Off you go. Right, so just settling into the here and now. Some of you might have just rolled straight out of bed onto your yoga mat. Maybe not, perhaps you've all been up for hours, but just settling into how your body feels this morning. Get a sense that maybe you've lined your hips up over your ankles, shoulders are nicely released and relaxed over your hips, and that you've got your chin very slightly tucked. So we're drawing attention to the length of our spine here. And gently letting the eyes close or lowering the gaze. And bringing the attention inwards. So just noticing where you are aware of sensations in this standing posture. Notice perhaps what's going on in your feet. We don't often stand in complete stillness. And if you've got your feet together like I have, you'll probably be acutely aware of how many muscles are working diligently to keep us upright. Get a sense that you're starting to let everything go, so shoulders are heavy, brow is unfurrowed, eyelids are heavy, jaw is relaxed. Really send those fingertips down towards the floor. Imagine that gravity is just pulling them down. So not super active in the arms and fingers, but just with that awareness that you are not assisting in holding them up in any way. And thinking about your hips, and your thighs and your knees, how much work they're doing to support you in this standing structure at the moment. And then all the way down into the feet. So however you're standing at the moment, you'll be aware of what's going on in your feet. Maybe lift and spread the toes just for a moment and then set them back down. Now bring your awareness to your breath. And let's ensure that we've switched off our abs and that we're breathing into this belly space. So bringing the right hand to the belly and the left hand to the center of the heart space. In fact, stepping your feet a bit wider if you've been standing with your feet together. Have a bit of a change in your standing posture and then come back to stillness again. And then just following the inhale and the exhale, watching the rise and fall of the right hand. So really making sure that the right hand is being moved by the diaphragm here. And now moving the awareness to the left hand. Maybe you need to increase your inhale very slightly to appreciate a little more movement into the chest area. Normally we visualize the rib cage spreading outwards, but see if you can move that left hand by breathing into the chest area. And now moving the visualization and your awareness to the collarbone region, and see if you are aware when your neck muscles engage as the very tops of the lungs fill with air. Again, you might need to deepen your inhale here. Now releasing any control of the breath here just for a moment. We are going to have a couple of rounds of some every deep or equal action breath. So we're going to inhale to a count of 5. We're going to hold for a count of 5. And then we're going to exhale for a count of 5. So everybody exhale. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Last one. Inhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Hold. 2, 3, 4, 5. Exhale. 2, 3, 4, 5. Just let the hands go. Let your breath do whatever it wants. And just notice, now that you've given yourself permission to breathe however you want, where are you breathing? Where's your breath being directed to? Are you now automatically breathing into your belly, or did you find that because you were concentrating on the breath, you're breathing into your chest? So just noticing what is your natural tendency here. And let's just take a few movements here from side to side, and we will crack on now with what we're going to do. So I'm going to stand sideways on my mat, facing the top of my mat, but kind of in the middle. Set yourselves up wherever is nice. And just taking a few movements here, taking your feet about hip width apart. And very slowly we're going to start sinking into chair. So arms come up forward, just about shoulder height, and we're sinking down into quite a nice first version of chair here. So hips are sent back, lifting your weight out of your toes here, so you're in your heels. And then very slowly pressing into every corner of your foot, slowly, 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 making an active push from your feet. Let's come up. Rise up onto your toes, see how your balance is, and then slowly we're going to come forward and down, sending the hips back. So we're needing to counterbalance with our arms now. Weight comes out of the toes, lift the toes. We're looking down sort of in the middle of our mat, and then slowly pressing into the feet. Let's rise again. As we rise, bring the arms behind you as you rise up onto your toes. And turn around so I can watch you. Once more, let's start to sink. Send the hips back. Lifting the toes. Looking ahead now between the palms. And then slowly pressing into the feet. So we're starting, hopefully, to warm our thighs. Up on the toes here. Rising up. Balancing. Ooh, and then slowly down. Arms come up for the last time, just a little bit higher. So elbow creases, imagine you're trying to get them either side of your ears. Make sure your knees haven't tracked in or out here, they're parallel. And then slowly, let's rise again. Slowly, slowly, slowly. This is what's doing all the good work. Up onto the toes as the arms come back behind. And then this time, As we sink down into our chair, we're going to hold here, and then we're going to join the hands in prayer in the front, and we're going to take our left elbow to our right knee. So let me turn so you can see, like so. Make sure that your left knee hasn't crept forward to accommodate you in this. So both knees are still in a line. Our fingertips should be kind of pointing underneath our chin, and we're looking back towards the right elbow here. So we're going to hold this for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and slowly, 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 arms come up. They stay together. They come up in front. We're going to rise up on our toes. Arms are overhead. Whoops. And then slowly let's sink down. You know where we're going with this. We're going to go to the other side now. Nice deep squat. Check out those knees. Make sure they haven't slid. One of them hasn't crept forward. So pull that right knee back and looking back towards the left elbow. I'm holding it for 3, 2, 1, and slowly let's come all the way back. You can take your arms apart now, lifting up onto the toes. We're going to stay up on the toes as we slowly ease back into our chair, up on our toes. So heels are lifted here. This is called hummingbird. We're going to leave the legs as they are and bring the arms behind us. Let me check you out. Cool. I can't hear you shouting, Linda.
Wait, are we on our toes or on our heels?
Right, everybody come out again. Right, oh, you were very low. So what we're doing, we're up on our toes, standing, and we're staying up on our toes. So heels stay lifted. Everyone can just watch if you want to. And we're sinking down, still up on our toes, so that we're kind of like in this skiing position, but our heels are not down.
Fine, thank you.
We'll do it one more time just for Linda, because I know she loves it. So let's come back to where we were, arms overhead, up on our toes. Slowly, slowly, slowly start to take the hips back. Arms start to come down, so we're up on our toes here. We're looking forward, chest is open. Imagine you're pulling your shoulders together here. Bum is stuck out. Beautiful. And then slowly, as we bring the arms forward, we can set the heels down. Oh. And then just take a nice stretch down. How are we doing? Are your thighs nice and warm? Good. Good. Right, from there, that's enough of that tree malarkey. We are going to do tree. So you probably all have, I'm just going to adjust my camera a little bit. You probably all have your favourite version of tree, or the one that you are most stable with. If tree is challenging, let me show you all 3. So you can either have ankle to heel, or above, heel to above ankle joint. That's number 1. Number 2 is solar foot to just below the knee, so in the calf. Or you can set your foot into your thigh. I personally find this easier because once I'm set there, I'm wedged. But if you find all of these a challenge, just set yourself near to a wall and use just your fingertip to get you where you need to be. And just set yourself up in whichever pose you want to do. So you can either put your knee against the wall or a fingertip, and then find something at your eye level to look at that's not going to move. That will really help you balance here. Just taking a moment, noticing what's going on. So hands can be on the hips. Lovely job. And then when you're ready, bringing your hands together in prayer. And really have a think about your posture here. See if there's anything more you can do to grow a centimetre longer. Maybe tucking your pelvis in. It's quite a challenge, this. You're all doing really well. Beautiful. And then keeping your eye on your drishti point, which is right in front of you. if you can, join your hands and bring the arms up. If this is a stretch too far, keep it to where you were stable and able to concentrate and you weren't wobbling all over the show. And then very, very slowly, joining the index finger and the thumb in a little mudra, we're going to bring the arms down to like cactus arms here. And slowly we're going to unhook the front foot and bend it in front of us. So left leg is very slightly bent. You've probably seen these little Indian dancers that I look nothing like. So we are emulating the fierce goddess Kali here. So we're just strengthening that standing leg. If you've got it slightly bent, you'll feel the stretch all the way into your shin. And then slowly from here, I'm just going to turn around, we are going to go straight into warrior three. So slowly, 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 we're starting to hinge at the hips. Maybe hands come to the hips as we stretch that leg away. If you want, you can put your arms out ahead. Again, you can put them against a wall if you want to, if that helps. I'd rather you did the structure with some confidence rather than wobbling all over the show and getting nothing from it. So don't be worried about using props. Use it to make the best of your practice that you can. So in warrior three, what we're looking for is for the outstretched leg to be straight. And we want to be looking directly down. Let's have a little look. Right, Linda, see if you can just hinge a little bit more at your hips. So take your torso a bit closer to the ground. That's it. That's it. Lovely job. There, now you're working. Good job, Adele. Well done, Shona. And then slowly, 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 with as much grace and elegance as you can muster here, let's slowly set that back leg down. Well done. Well done. I thought it would be a challenge, but I knew you'd all be up for it. But it's not about the getting there, it's about the going there, and it's about what you learn, about what you need to do. Because the other thing you can do, of course, if you do find that, or did find that a challenge, you can set yourself against a wall and use that for you can press against the wall with your legs so that you get that nice shape, yeah?
Yeah.
In fact, I think it's probably easier to have your fingertips against the wall. But the next thing, we're going to do it on the other side. But once you're there, just watch on for a second. There's a tendency, once you've got that leg up, that it will, I don't know if you can see my foot, but it will externally rotate. So you need to dial your toes down, and that brings the hip back into line. We don't want the hip to be open. We want the feet to be in the same position as if we were standing, so that they're both kind of, toes are pointing towards the floor, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Right.
Thanks.
So let's go back to our tree.
All right. Yeah.
You need to remember which leg you're doing. I can't remember which leg I was doing now.
You're right, I think.
Yes, I think you're right. So setting yourself back up, just taking a moment to find your tree. Right, Linda, either move your foot up or down, not on your knee joint. That's it. Wedge yourself in. If you've got your fingertip, you might find it easier if you put your knee against the wall, because we're still achieving everything we want to achieve about this shape, and you're being supported. So we're nice and upright, we're strengthening the standing leg, we've got the external rotation in that leg, so do whatever you need to. Look at Andy, he's been there blooming hours. Well done. So, but once you've got yourself set up, bring your attention to the pressure you're applying with the sole of the foot into the thigh, and then meet that with resistance from the right thigh. So you've got these two opposing forces that hopefully will hold you in this structure. Sorry, Shona, I know you've been there a long while. Just move your foot so it's not on your knee. We don't want to destabilize this structure, and if it's on a joint, it won't be as stable. So once you're there, bring your awareness to your posture, really grow tall. Give the glutes a little bit of a squeeze and tuck your pelvis under. See what difference that makes. And then bringing your hands together in prayer. Maybe you want to take them up overhead. Just noticing how your balance is. So working with your drishti point here. I reckon Andy's just leaning against the wall. Look at him, he looks so nonchalant. Good job, everyone. Well done. And then slowly bringing the arms out to the side, forming your mudra with the thumb and the finger, and bending at the arms here. And then slowly bringing that foot in front, slightly inclining it and bending the standing leg just very slightly. So you can imagine we've got these little bells on our fingers now. Just holding it here in the Kali Goddess pose. And then from here, very, very slowly bringing the hands to the hips or to the wall and start to hinge forward. I'm losing it, hang on. Start to hinge forward as we take that leg back, dial those toes down, and either reaching the fingertips straight down, which is perhaps easy, or taking them out in front, which allows you a bit of a counterbalance. We're just going to hold this here. Let me have a look at you. Linda, try and straighten your left leg. I know it's difficult. How are you doing, Shona? Is your hamstring all right?
Yeah, it's okay.
Andy looks like he could do this forever. I've only got Adele's fingertips, so I can't really see. Just hold it. When you're ready to come down, let's just do it with grace and style and elegance. Ooh, and step it out. Quite challenging, that, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, God, I'm worn out already. So now we're going to bring our feet nice and wide on the mat. So feet are parallel, none of the ballet squat nonsense. We're having our feet in yogi distance apart, comfortably wide. And really bring your attention to your posture here. So take a moment to consider that you're pushing your energy and awareness into the outer edges of your feet. And then scoop the pelvis under. So you haven't got your bum stuck out, you've got your bum stuck under, if anything. So we're working in this plane of our body at the moment. I've forgotten what it's called. Anybody know? Is it the sagittal plane? Anyway, this is how we're standing at the minute. So we've got our pelvises tucked under, we've got our shoulders looped around the back, slightly squeezing towards each other, just to feel that we are not round-shouldered and just kind of loitering here. And then finding your drishti points in the distance, something to just look at for a moment. And just check in with what's going on in your inner thigh muscles here. And bringing the hands to the hips or the waist. Very, very slowly, we're going to start levering forward. So it's a movement from the hips. And we're coming to where you feel you are in a flat back position. It should be about the same time that your thigh muscles, or your hamstrings let you know that they're having a good old work here. So both legs are straight unless you're hypermobile in your legs, in which case have a little micro bend. Taking a moment, looking directly down at the floor. And then let's just take the fingertips down towards the mat. Let me see. Excellent. I think you're all down to the mat now, aren't you? I was going to say, if any of you aren't quite reaching the mat, maybe widen your legs a little. Let me just turn around. So we're looking directly down at the fingertips now, just taking a moment here. Feeling the stretch from the hamstring into the glutes. Shona, is this tolerable for you?
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, okay, good. I don't care about anyone else, you're just going to have to put up. Shona's the only one who's told me that she's got a bit of something going on. So from here, now that we've had a moment to kind of settle and release here, see if you are able to, if you've just got your fingertips on the mat, see if you're able to just take a slightly deeper fold here and put your palms on the mat. So each time we're just looking to ease with the exhale. Now this time you can really let your head and neck go. Make sure you can nod yes and shake no, and you are looking directly behind you. And bring your awareness to your hips. See if you can send your hips any higher. That seems a bit of a strange cue, but beautiful job. Linda, can you get your legs any further apart?
Yeah.
Then do so, it'll make it easier.
Yeah.
Make it a lot more comfortable. Same goes for everybody else. You all look reasonably comfortable. But once you're here, this should feel like quite a nice place to hang out because your hamstrings are warm, they've lengthened. And with every exhale, you should feel almost like a growing confidence that you're safe and stable here. So if you can bring a little micro bend into your elbows here, do so. Just tune in with your breathing, really connect here. And then slowly taking the hands from the mat and bringing them to your hips. Maybe bringing a micro bend into the knees. We're slowly going to raise up, very, very slowly. Come through the flat back position, all the way up to the top. Feel that, the chain of muscles kicking in as we bring ourselves back up to the top. Oh, well done, everyone. We're just going to take a moment here. Take a bit of a counter posture. Just stick your hips forward and kind of do a little tiny back bend. Just one that's comfortable for you. Nothing. So I've got my legs straight, my hips are sent forward. It should feel like quite a nice counter posture. And then slowly, slowly, slowly coming back to being fully upright. We're going to go down again. So awareness is in the outer edge of our feet. Back through center. And then when you get to where you're getting to, let's bring the hands back down towards the mat. They should go down there quite nicely now. And let's dial the left hand all the way around. We're dialing them outwards. So right hand is dialing right, left hand is dialing left, and our fingertips are facing away behind us.
Behind.
So let me have a little look.
Yeah.
Sorry, who said that hurts?
No, it's all good.
Oh, good. Okay. Right, now bring your walk your hands in front of you. Come quite far forward so that we're almost like in a back to front downward dog with a there's nothing like a downward dog, to be honest. Walk your hands in front so that you are really stretching the medial nerve in your wrist. So it won't feel super comfortable, but you should just kind of rock back a little bit so you're getting a good old stretch into that wrist. Perfect if you've been doing a lot of computer work, or if you row, or if you cycle, anything where you're holding unnecessary tension in your wrist. And then walk those hands back in between the feet. And now take the wrists in line with your ankles. Is that you? I can hear puttering, Linda.
Yeah.
So wrists are now in line with the heels, so we're getting a more thorough stretch into the hamstrings because I don't really think you're working them hard enough. So we're looking down head and neck, make sure you can nod, yes, and shake, no. Very, very loose and relaxed in the head and neck. And now let's turn the fingertips back round to face the front, but leave them so that the fingertips are in line with the heels. So we want them to be quite far back. We want a good old stretch down the forearm, all the way from the medial nerve. Let's have a look. Looking good. Yeah, super stuff. Adele, can you get your legs any further forward, further apart? Because I think you might be a little bit more comfortable if you could take it slightly wider. That's it. That looks a bit more stable. How does it feel in comparison?
Yeah, it's a bit more comfortable.
If you were better before, don't listen to me. Just go where you're comfortable. Always go for comfort. And then slowly, 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 let's start to just tuck our heads and chins in. Hands come to the waist. Attention in the legs and our glutes, really squeezing the glute muscles as we make our way back up again. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Noticing all that chain reaction in the muscles. And come up to standing again. Oh, how are we doing, everyone?
Good.
And then just taking that little counter posture, pushing. So legs are straight, we're just pushing the hips forward, leaning back a little bit. Do what you will with your head and neck, just noticing how that feels. Oh, and coming back to where you feel you're in that nice steady plane of direction. And now this time, just when you thought it couldn't get any worse, finale in the wide-legged Prazarita, we're going to take our hands behind us and clasp our hands. But as soon as you clasp your hands, I want you to unclasp your hands and put them the wrong way around. So with the other little finger behind. So we've got lots to think about here. So just squeezing the shoulders together now. I'm going to turn the other way around just so you can see what's going on, should you need to. I know you can follow instructions there. So lots of attention in our posture before we start going. And then let's push into the outer edges of the feet as we start to fold through that nice flat back. As soon as we've got to our flat back, we can start to raise our arms here as we continue our journey down. So hamstrings are nice and warm and loose and lengthened now, and we can bring our shoulders into the equation. So shoulders, arms are straight and behind us. Lovely job. Isn't this a super comfortable place to hang out? I love it. Lots going on here. Make sure your head and neck are nice and loose and that gravity is really assisting in taking your arms now, really without letting go of your fingertips. Really relax the grip here. You don't have to hang on for dear life. Bring your attention to the breath. Let's just connect with the breath here. Making sure you can breathe with ease, noticing the joy in your hamstrings. Your legs are going to be so long when we finish this. And then very, very slowly, let's start to tuck our chin as we work our way back up. So as we start coming up, the hands start getting closer to our bums. Slowly, slowly, slowly. And then when we get all the way up, releasing the hands, giving them a bit of a wiggle. And let's take that now, nice counter posture again. So sticking the hips out, having a little back bend. Imagine you're about to do the limbo. So go as far back as you are able without wrecking yourself for the rest of the day. And then slowly back again. And then heel toe your feet together. Oh, how fabulous does that feel now? You're feeling nice and loose in your hands.
Lovely.
I don't believe you. Why's that, Linda? So from here, facing the front of your mats, if you aren't already, we're going to take a couple of rounds of sun salutation. So reasonably close to the top of the mat, just setting yourself up, either feet completely together with big toes together, ankles together, or with your feet hip width apart, whatever feels most comfortable for you. And on an inhale, let's take the arms up and over, looking up at the thumbs here. Let's take a tiny back bend here. We've started to warm up in those hip flexors. And then on an exhale, bums get stuck out, we bend our knees and we come all the way down into a forward fold. So legs aren't straight here, keep them bent. We can still really adequately stretch our hamstrings here without straightening the legs. So bring your awareness to your hips now and send your hip bones up high. You will feel the connection from glutes into hamstrings without overdoing it in the legs. So just taking a few breaths here with the legs engaged, the hams, the glutes engaged. Can everybody feel that? That it's a really efficient stretch, but not quite so hardcore as having both legs straight. It's not quite so, I think it's a bit more forgiving and more thorough, to be honest. So we're looking back between our calves at the moment. And then from here, we're going to come to a halfway lift. So lifting slightly so that we're kind of in this flat back position. We have got our legs straight now. We're up on our fingertips. We're looking probably a couple of feet in front of the front edge of our mat. And then we're going to fold again, which means we bend into our knees. And then we're going to step back with right foot and left foot until we are in a plank pose. So for plank, we want to make sure that our wrists are directly under our shoulders and that we are sending the energy back into our heels here, so nice and strong. If this is too much for anyone, come down onto your knees. But we are going to try and hold plank here just for a few breaths. 3, 2, 1. Now the first one we're going to do, we are going to lower to the knees, untuck the toes, and then we're going to do this weird thing where we bend at the elbows and bring our chin and our chest down to the mat. So our bums are in the air, kind of look like we're going through a caterpillar motion. And then we're just going to stretch our legs away on behind us. Okay? Did you all get that? Do you want me to show you? Do you need to watch and do it?
Yeah.
Okay, let me adjust my camera so it's a little more useful for you. So we're starting to learn chaturanga a bit more thoroughly. Chaturanga is where we go from planks and lower down onto the floor, but this is a more forgiving version of it. And if you're doing a set of salutations where there are many, many, and you just want to break, so we drop to knees, we untuck the feet, and then we stick our bums out, we wing the elbows in, chin and chest comes down to the ground, and then we just straighten the legs away so that we're ready to come up into cobra. Yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah.
So we're going to do that again into plank. So nice low plank, bums are down, not in anything that resembles a downward facing dog. Pushing away from the mat here, releasing the knees. So already we're quite strong and active in the upper body. Untuck the feet and start to lower the elbows. Send the hips up, chin and chest are down, and then you slide the legs away. So from here, we're just going to gently push into the hands. So the thumb should be about in line with the shoulders now. Is that what you're finding? Slowly push up into a small cobra. Breathing your knees and lower down again. And then from here, we're going to push ourselves back onto our knees. We're going to tuck our toes and we're going to come up into downward facing dog. So just taking a moment here, and just to give you a sense of familiarity, we're going to really widen our feet off the mat, and we're going to come into a very wide-legged downward facing dog. So we're nice and long in the hamstrings. So coming from our hands, we're pushing our shoulders and our chest back towards our thighs. Hips are sent very high. You might want to bend into your knees a little bit. The object of this particular posture is to get length in the spine. So if you can get more length in your spine by bending your knees, then go for it. Head and neck are nice and relaxed between the arms. Ears should be about level with your elbows. Let me have a little look at you. Good job, everybody. Good job. And then slowly, bringing the weight forward until you're over your hands. Bring your knees to the mat. So your knees should be on the outer edge of your mat now. Just swing your feet in so your big toes come to kiss together. Big toes are together, knees are on either edge of the mat. And push yourself back into extended child's pose. So really, let's take a few breaths here. It's the first chance you've had to really take a break, so make the most of it. Notice what's going on. Even though it's quite a passive and restorative shape, there's still lots going on. We've got the hips open, making sure you can breathe into that belly space. You've got lots of space beneath you now. Adele, I'm just going to ask you, only because it's you who I can only see the clearest. You're actually doing puppy pose, which is perfect. Same benefits are still there. Are you doing that because you can't get your bum towards your heels, or is it just because I didn't explain properly what you're doing?
Probably because I didn't really.
Just bring your knees to the outer edge of your mat, toes are together, and then just sit back on your heels. Is that doable or is that really uncomfortable? So your bum is actually on your heels.
Yeah, no, I can do that. Yeah, no, I can. I just didn't really. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Perhaps it's just the angle I'm looking at you at. It looks like you're like this. from where I am. It doesn't matter, the benefits are the same.
No, I can do it. I just didn't.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out about it. In fact, let's all have a go at puppy pose anyway, just to see that it's equally doable and lovely. So big toes are together, knees are on either side of the mat. We're going to come down to our forearms now and just set our foreheads on the mat. So hips are sent high. You might prefer this to extended child's pose. I have a few students who do. So just noticing how you feel here. It's actually very nice, isn't it? And then slowly, slowly, slowly coming back to hands, bringing knees back to center. Let's push back into normal downward facing dog. So chests are towards the thighs, fingertips are really clawing and pushing the front edge of the mat away. Heads and necks are nice and loose. We're going to look towards our hands and we're going to step forward with our right foot. Then we're going to step forward with our left foot in between our hands, bending our knees and just forward fold here. So just hanging out here, feeling the stretch like we did before without overdoing it. And then we're going to come to halfway lift, so up to your fingertips, straightening the legs, sending the hips back nice and long in the back. And then bending the knees, forward fold again. And then slowly we're going to make our way up, arms come out to the side, all the way up overhead. They join in prayer over the head. We're going to take a little back bend here. So looking up at the thumbs. And then hands come through, heart center. And we're back where we started. Super job. Right, we're going to do that again. You'll be delighted to know. So back at the top of our mat, inhale, arms in and up, tiny back bend here, looking at the thumbs, and then let's dive all the way down, bending the knees. Forward fold, inhale to halfway lift, exhale to fold, both hands are flat on the floor, step back with the left foot, step back with the right foot into our plank again. Now, we can either take the version of knees, chest, chin to make our way down, or if you've got the upper body strength and you want to give it a go, from plank, so really driving away into the heels here and starting to wing the elbows in towards the body, we are going to slowly lower from plank all the way down to the mat and then come into our cobra from there. How are we getting on? How was that? Let's have a look at you. Do it again. Everyone into plank.
Once only, Gabby.
That's all right. If it's too much. Excellent job. Well done, you guys. The biggest thing to remember here is to keep your elbows coming into the body. There is a tendency. So this is something you can practice against a wall, actually. If you can imagine, your hands are outstretched as they would be in plank. And then as you bend your elbows, you want to keep them exactly where they are so they hug your ribs, because the tendency is when they're here, when we start lowering down, we start to do this and come into a kind of press up type thing. So make sure your elbows are coming straight in towards the body. It does make a difference. It makes it more difficult, but it makes it a more thorough structure. So let's do one more. Let's get into our plank. Really bring your body weight forward. So you're right on your toes here. And then winging those elbows in, looking straight down and lower all the way down. And then once you're there, pushing up into your version of cobra. So just engaging with the tops of your feet here and your thighs. And then let's just lower down here and take a few breaths here. So make a little pillow with your hands. Roll your hips from side to side. Have a little wiggle. And then hands come back in. So thumbs are about level with the armpits. Let's suck those elbows in towards the body once more. Engage with the tops of the feet, the thighs, the pubic bones, so everything pushing down and nice and active here. And let's take our cobra. So not too high, really squeeze your shoulder muscles together here. And then from here, let's take a little look round towards our left heel. Breathing here, make sure you're not holding your breath. And then slowly head and neck come back to center. Let's lower down, leave the hands where they are. Take a moment here on your chin. Watch what's happened to your elbows. Make sure they haven't suddenly flapped out to the side, so keep them hugging the ribs. And then feet, thighs, pubic bone, up we go again. And let's turn to look at our right heel. So feeling the tension building in our biceps and triceps, head and neck come back to center. Let's lower down again, make a little pillow for your head and take a waggle from side to side. Oh. And then slowly from here, hands come back to armpits. We're going to tuck the toes and we're going to reverse all this. So coming up into our kneeling position, pushing back towards our heels and pushing up into our downward facing dog. So just take a moment to set your dog upright, have a little movement from forward and back into your toes. Let's really stretch through the plantar fascia here, rocking forward and back. Then bringing your attention to your hips, sending them really high, trying to suck the abs in, move the rib cage back. Shoulders are relaxed and slid down. And we're trying to push the top of the mat, the top edge of the mat away. So just taking a few breaths in your structure here. Let's have a little look. Super job. So make sure that you are really weight bearing into every corner and bit of flesh that you've got available to you in your hands. So they are acting as you know, you're spreading the load quite literally here. Now from here, just pivot on your feet and turn both sets of feet towards the right. So we're just swinging the ankles around. So we're kind of standing on our feet here. It feels a bit weird. So you get an intense stretch in the right hip all the way to the right shoulder and then back to center. And then we're going to dial the feet round the other way. So maybe your feet don't go flat on the mat. I don't know. This might be a hamstring thing. And then we're going to come back to center. So we're on our toes and we're just twizzling the feet. It's only the feet and hips that are moving. Pushing evenly away into both hands, back to center, round to the other side. Ooh. Breathing with ease, back to center, and let's lower down onto our knees and take your favorite version of child's pose. Breathing with ease. Your breath tells you everything you need to know about how much effort you're putting in. Oh dear. So just taking a moment here to let the energy flow. Notice where you're aware of what's going on here. Perhaps you're aware of the fascia in your feet at the moment. Perhaps your feet feel as though they've had a good old thorough stretch out. And then slowly bringing ourselves forward, back onto our hands. Let's push ourselves back up into down dog. And in our down dog, let's just take our awareness and intention into the left foot. Maybe the heel is lowered, maybe it's not. I prefer to keep my heels up. We're going to lift the right leg away. We'll take a moment with the right leg stretched up. Just dial your toes round towards the left. This will make sure that you even up in your hip because your hip will want to open here. And then from here, we will open the hip. So bend at the knee and bring the sole of the foot as though you're trying to get it down or you're trying to get it to your left buttock. So we're really opening the hip here on the right hand side. Just let your head and neck be nice and loose. Your left foot is probably flat on the mat here. Just notice how it feels. And then slowly, 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 let's bring that knee back round and set that foot back down again. Take a moment, maybe walk your dog here. Find your breath. And then settling into the right foot, let's take the left foot away. So this isn't how high can you get your leg, it's just lift it up to where you are reasonably comfortable, where you can breathe. Dial those toes over towards the right hand side. Let me have a look at you.
I can't do this.
Right, tell me where you're struggling. Everyone else, take a little break if you want to. Just talk me through it, Linda. What
It's just-
can't you do?
My right leg, it doesn't like it. It can't take the. I just can't get the.
Right, tell me what's happening with your right heel.
That's down. That's okay. I got a bit of a. I just not.
Don't worry about it. I can't actually see your foot, which is why I'm asking for instructions. It's just too much with the foot pressed down. Try it with the foot up a little. It's about making the shape in a way that your body can tolerate. So if I'm doing the left leg now, coming up on that left foot, so we're just exploring where we can get this leg and it's still comfortable. For me, it's more comfortable to set that heel down. Maybe for you, better with the heel up, and it's just working out there and then bending the leg and then taking it out to the side. So slowly catchy monkey. Right, for a start, you are very, very short in your down dog. I've never seen you do a down dog that short. That's it. You might find it a bit easier now. That's better.
Yeah, okay.
Excellent. That's a much better shape because I can see now you've got a nice long line between the crown of your head and your bum, which is what we want. We don't want you in a little curled ball.
Yeah.
Super. Everyone else all right with this?
Oh.
I know you all love it.
Oh.
Anyway, back to where we were. So we've got left foot down, right leg up. We've bent into the right leg and we're bringing it over to the side. Actually, no, we've done that side, haven't we? Whichever side we were on, just making sure we've evened up on both sides. So maybe looking under the armpit, making sure you're nice and long in your dog. And then slowly coming back to center, bringing that leg slowly down, dropping to knees, and taking child's pose again, or puppy pose, whichever you prefer. Let's just take a little break here. And very slowly, let's not do any more standing stuff. How about that? How does that sound? Shall we do some sitting stuff?
I find that really hard.
Come to easy peasy yoga, you'll love it. This is proper work for your body and mind. Because where does your mind go when you're doing all this stuff? I bet you're not shopping listing, are you?
No.
No. Well, it's about learning about your body and where you're at in it and how you approach problems really as they crop up and how you deal with the sensations that your body's presenting you with. So don't ever think, oh, I can't do this. It just means you're trying to do too much of this. So find the bit where you can do it and slowly. Right, so we're going to come to seated. We are going to sit, first of all, with both legs out in front of us. I'm sitting this way on so you can see me properly. So let's just, maybe if you've got a big bum like me, you might need to just move the squishy bits to one side so that you are firmly on your sitting bones. And then just sit nice and tall so you are in a right angle shape. And let's just activate those feet a little bit. So drawing the toes back towards the shins. So poor old hamstrings are getting yet another workout here. And then lifting the arms to about shoulder height without changing anything of your upper body. I just want you to start decreasing the angle at the hips. So we're bringing our noses and our fingers beyond our toes. So we haven't curled into a ball. We are just moving in a straight line. So again, you will feel your hamstrings engage. I'll let you know what's going on. Andy, bring your arms down just a tad. That's it. Perhaps up a tiny bit. I'm just giving you something to think about while we do this. And then from here, roll back to upright. Now, bringing your right foot in towards your body, and it wants to be about a fist width away from the inside of your left thigh. So we want to get to the point where we can lock our heel in, and we're kind of sitting up and over it. So we can actually sit without having to hang on so that we don't fall over. So wedge yourself where you are able to sit with one knee up, one leg straight away, yeah? So we've got this fist width distance. This is really important. You'll see why in a minute. Just bringing your left hand to your side to support you. With your right arm, reach up nice and tall and reach towards your fingers like we just did. And now we're just going to take that right arm around that leg. So we're reaching behind us now. And then with the left arm, we are going to reach behind and grab hold of the right fingertips. Let me turn around. It's not impossible. Yeah. If you cannot make the bind, with your right hand, grab your right thigh, wherever you can get it, or the outside of your right hip. And with your left hand, grab whatever you can of the back of your t-shirt. So we're still getting that same sort of structure. So the left hand is reaching around towards the right. In fact, you might be able to grab your right leg here. But once we are where we get to, really bring your intention to your posture. Nose is heading towards the toes, and then look down at your knee. So we're in this beautiful structure. Let me have a little look at you. Yes, you all look suitably uncomfortable. Right, Linda, for you, just get the knee up. If you're struggling with this, just stretch the right arm out and send it behind you. Touch your thigh. Left arm bends at the elbow, and just imagine that you're grabbing the other hand and sit nice and tall, and then look at your knee. And then we've got the shape that we need. And then let's untwirl from this pretzel shape. Well done, everyone. Oh, and have a little pat on the mat here with the backs of your legs. And then we don't want to be wonky donkey all day. We need to do the other side. So bringing the left foot in towards the bum here. Nice distance between right thigh and left foot. And we're going to reach straight forward. So the knee will splay a little bit here. That's absolutely fine. So we're just trying to, we're seeing where we get. How do you feel with this here, Linda? Is this bit okay?
Yeah, this is fine. I just like that contortionist movement I've never seen before.
Next time we do this, a strap isn't always necessary. Something like a sock might be enough, because I bet there's not. This is why I need to be there, so I can tie you in the knot myself. So reaching forward, let's just swing round with that left arm now. You might find it's easier or more difficult on this side. And if you can, make the bind, grab the fingers. If not, grab left leg or any part of it with your right hand, and grab somewhere on your left leg with your left hand, just making the shape. So we're really opening in the shoulder here, looking with our noses towards our toesies, and then look down towards your knee and see if you can soften towards your knee at all, as if you haven't got enough going on. Now put your knee on your nose, or rather your nose on your knee. It's just a visualization that that's where we're heading. So you can probably feel the stretch into your glute here, and then slowly releasing the bind. Let's unravel. Let's stretch that other leg away and give it a good old pat. So now we've got two really lovely long legs here. We're going to do one more of those, but not quite the same. No bind, don't worry about it. So back with the right foot, and we are going to cross the right foot over the left. So left leg is stretched away long. And we are going to make the left foot active. So pulling the toes back towards the shin here. And the foot needs to be fairly close to the thigh. If this isn't comfortable sitting like that, have your foot back to where we had it a moment ago. So we're just sitting like that. Then left arm comes around that right knee. Right hand comes behind our bum. And as soon as we get it behind our bum, use it to push yourself up to be as tall as you can possibly be. So we're not looking behind us at the moment. Andy's way ahead. He knows where we're going with this. At the moment, we're looking forward. So we're using that right hand to really increase our length in our spine here. And now we can look over the right shoulder. Ooh, feel the stretch here. So we're hanging on to the right thigh with the left hand. Make sure you're not gripping too hard. Hopefully you can feel a goodly old stretch in the right glute. And then slowly back to center. And let's unravel. Pat that leg out. Ooh. And straight onto the other side. So choose your version. Either foot is inside the thigh or you've got it crossed over. Let's bring a little bit of activity into the right leg and foot. So pulling the toes back towards you, hooking the left knee with the right elbow. Left hand comes behind the bum, maybe moving any bodily parts out of the way. Sitting up nice and tall, really find your length in your spine here, and then take a look over the left shoulder. So keeping that right foot active and stretched away. Really stretching away with the heel, feeling the stretch into the left glute. And then head and neck come back to center, and let's just unwind here. So last forward fold type stretch of the day with our hamstrings involved, sitting nice and tall again with both legs outstretched, both feet are activated. Let's bring our arms up to shoulder height and really kind of feel like you've created some space in between your shoulder blades. So we're kind of rounding there. And then hinging at the hips, let's try and take our fingertips beyond our toes. So we're just making a smaller gap between torso and thigh. So we're still nice and long in the spine. So hopefully you've reignited your hamstrings and glutes. And maybe just lowering your hands a little to perhaps grasp the outside of the foot or not. Just take a look towards your knees and see with the next exhale if you can just lower. So it's fairly passive here. We're just in a forward fold. Imagine that you're trying to get lots of length into your cervical spine, so look directly down at your knees. And then slowly back up to center. I almost forgot one because I haven't written it down. So back to sitting as we were with our right foot now, taking the right hand and placing it on the arch of the foot, sitting nice and tall here. We're just going to stretch that leg away. Because I think we really need to do some work on our hamstrings before we say cheerio. So if you can't straighten your leg with your hand being here, move your hand to just above your Achilles. I want you to have your legs straight so that we have engaged the hamstring. And now once you're set up and you've got your legs straight, I want you to take your left arm behind you. So sit as tall as you can. Make sure you haven't kind of slumped into it. We want to be nice and tall. Looking behind at the left palm, breathe, and then slowly bring the left arm round and grab the outer edge of the foot, and now take the right arm behind you. Let me turn around. So we've got opposite hand to foot, and then we are taking the other arm away. So again, we're sitting as tall as we can. We're not laying down and doing this. It's quite a stretch. And then slowly bending into the leg, lowering down, and whoo, not quite blanket time because we've got another leg to do. So taking hold now of the inner arch of the left foot with the left hand. So the hand is going directly down. And let's just straighten into this side. Really bring your attention now to your spine and see if you're sitting as tall as you possibly can. So you're not leaning back into this. Got some lovely lines of energy going on. Find your breath here. And then let's reach away with the right arm in this open twist here. I actually find this quite difficult in this position. Connect with your breath. And then slowly, as we bring that hand round, let's hook it around the outer edge of the left foot and then open this way into our closed twist. So again, we're nice and tall. Arms just need to be at shoulder height. I find this direction a lot easier. So really pushing away into the heel of the outstretched leg, and then slowly bending that leg back to center, and let's put it down. Whew, we're nearly there, we're nearly there. So bring your heels almost to the end of your mat here now, and sit as tall as you possibly can. Arms come out in front, and one vertebrae at a time, we're going to start rolling down. Now, as soon as you feel your abs bite, you know what I mean, it's a bit like finding the bite point of a clutch. I want you to stop. And then we're going to slowly squeeze and claw our way back up to seated. So we're finding the point at which our abs have started to work for us. We're coming back, stretching the fingertips forward, and then we're going to start going back again. So nice and slowly here, no rush at all. We're going to find that little bite point of the abs and go a little bit further this time. And we're just going to hold it here. We're going to breathe, and then slowly, really squeezing into those abs. We're going to make our way back up again. So each time we're going down a little bit further, and we're stretching a little bit further forward. We're keeping a continuous movement, so keep moving all the time, rolling down, really rolling into the small of your back here. Down we go a little bit further, find the bite, hold the bite. Let's slowly come all the way back up. Stretch beyond the toes. This is Linda's favourite, she always asks for this. And then let's see if we can go a little bit further down, but without going all the way down. So hold it, then start to come up again. This is the last time, I promise you, but it means that this last journey down has got to be very, very slow. So I shall be watching and listening for any sudden hitting the deck. So heels are still on the mat, slowly. And I'm down. It's hard for me to talk and do that as well, you know. So once you're down, just take a moment here, perhaps waggling your ankles and feet from side to side, perhaps taking an overhead stretch here. Really create some space between your ribs and your hips. Point the toes away. Oh, lovely long stretch. And then work your way into your position for Shavasana. So if you want to put any layers on, any socks or jumpers or anything like that, or get a blanket, then please do so. And we are just going to enjoy a very well-deserved rest now for a few minutes, where I will talk for a little while and then leave you in some silence for a while. In fact, I might even put some music on. How about that? I haven't had music for a long time. Let's see what I can muster. So anyway, making yourselves very comfy. And just settling into where you are right now, a bit like we did at the beginning of the session. And oh, I can't get rid of my clock. Just tuning into the breath again. Noticing the inhale and the exhale, noticing how you feel now. And tuning into the belly breath. Noticing where you're aware of the energy flowing through your body. Breathing into the belly, breathing into the whole abdomen region at the moment. And letting go of any tension in the forehead, the eyelids, the cheeks, the jaw. Noticing the softness in your throat and letting the shoulders be heavy and relaxed and spread here. Really feel them yielding into the surface of the mat beneath you. Relaxing the mid-back, the lower back, the sacrum, the buttocks, the backs of the thighs and knees, the whole hamstring region that's had so much work today. Thinking about releasing your calves, your heels, the plantar fascia, the toes, tops of the feet, ankles, shins, knees, quad muscles at the front of the thigh, and the hips, feeling a heaviness in the hips and a softness in the belly, the rib cage and the heart center. And just observe your body as a whole being breathed. Starting to deepen the breath just a little bit, bringing some movement back to your fingers and toes. Perhaps running your fingertips over the top of your thumbs. And then drawing one foot in close towards the body, then the other, and one knee above the chest and then the other. And perhaps taking a little roll from side to side here, just massaging your lower back into the mat. And then when you're ready, rolling over onto your right hand side, making a little pillow for your head with your outstretched arm. And then slowly making your way to seated. Just taking a moment here to set yourself up and joining your hands together in prayer here. Let's just bow our foreheads towards our hands, feeling the lovely stretch in the back of our necks. And let's take a moment to acknowledge the time that we've set aside for our own self-care and our practice of yoga to unite the mind, the body and the breath, and to give our hamstrings a good old stretch. And I hope that you've managed to catch a few moments of appreciation of how truly amazing your body is. Thank you for your practice, everyone. Namaste.
Namaste.